Welcome to the E-commerce Badassery Podcast, the place for scrappy entrepreneurs who want to learn actionable steps and strategies to grow the traffic, sales, and profit in your e-commerce business. I'm your host, Jessica Totillo-Coster, a 20-year retail veteran and former brick-and-mortar boutique owner who spent 3 years as the only employee of a 7-figure online store. That shit was crazy. I know exactly how it feels to do all the things, and I'm sharing everything I learned the hard way so you don't have to. I may have started this business by accident, but supporting badass bosses like you lights me the fuck up, and I am so stoked to see you grow. Are you ready, babe? Let's roll. Welcome back to the E-commerce Badassery Podcast. I'm your host, Jessica Totillo-Coster. 2025 seems to be moving so quickly, and I can't believe we're already wrapping up another month. I honestly don't know why I'm surprised. I literally feel this way every month and every year, and I think I say it every time too. I should be used to it now, but it still boggles the mind. If you've been listening over the last few weeks, we've covered a lot of big picture strategies like how to decide what's worth your time, how to set better goals, why you need to keep showing up for your business even when things feel out of control, and how to structure your marketing campaigns for maximum impact. And I've been harping on these topics because at the end of the day, the success of your business isn't about doing all the things. It's about doing the right things better and consistently. My goal for you this year is to keep you focused on what is truly going to move the needle and get you further faster. When you have clear goals, you're not just reacting to every little thing that pops up. You have a plan that keeps you moving forward. When you focus on what you can control, you stop wasting energy on things that don't actually impact your success. And when you commit to omnichannel marketing, you create a system that brings in sales by meeting your customers where they're at and giving them the connection points they need to make a buying decision. Ultimately, all of these things work together to help you grow a business that's sustainable, scalable, and works for you, not just one that keeps you busy. But knowing what to do is only half the battle. That's why today I wanted to talk about something a bit more tactical. Specifically, how do you actually get all that shit done without drowning in your to-do list? Setting goals is easy, following through on them, that's the tricky part, right? Even if you do follow the strategy I recommend of only committing to 1 to 3 main goals every month, quarter, and year, it doesn't mean there aren't a lot of tasks that fall under those goals. Toss in the day-to-day of running your business and that to-do list starts to collect dust while you are stuck in the daily grind. Believe me, I get it. I have been there too, and I'll be honest, I've had to learn this lesson more than once. And that is, productivity is not one size fits all. What works for one might not work for another. And it can be really frustrating when you learn about some productivity trick or system that sounds cool and you're all excited to implement it in your own business. But no matter how hard you try, you just can't stick with it and it never feels quite right for you. At the end of the day, the best productivity system for you is the one that works with your natural tendencies and feels good. I haven't exactly cracked the code. It's still a work in progress, but I've got a fun little quiz I came across recently to share with you that saw right through me, but more on that in a bit. Now, before we get into productivity styles, there's one thing that affects everyone, no matter how you naturally work best. That's something called context switching. We've talked about this on the podcast before. I don't remember what episode it is, but the general idea is that every time you switch between different types of tasks, your brain has to reset. Studies show that this can reduce productivity by up to 40% because your focus doesn't shift instantly. There's always a bit of attention residue left behind from whatever you were just doing. It's kind of like when you have too many browser tabs open. Not only do they distract you, but it eventually starts to slow down your computer too. And I'm sure you've experienced this in your day-to-day. You're adding new products to your store, then an order comes in, so you take a quick peek to see what they bought. In the meantime, you get a customer service email, so you handle that real quick. With constant interruptions, switching tasks, before you know it, the day is over, the new product still isn't published, and the next day you have to waste a whole bunch of time trying to figure out where you left off. Now multiply that every single day of running your business, and it's no wonder you feel exhausted, like you can't get anything done, and your to-do list just keeps getting longer and longer. That is why, no matter what your productivity style is, no matter what this quiz tells you, minimizing context switching and the desire to multitask will make your newfound productivity system work a lot better for you. So, how do you actually figure out your productivity style and the workflow that works best for you? You take the quiz by Todoist. I came across this quiz accidentally when I was testing out Todoist as a task management system. I was asking my AI boyfriend for some task management platform recommendations, and this was one of them. I didn't want anything too over the top like ClickUp or Asana, and Google Tasks was kind of too simple. I needed something in the middle, and this was one of the recommendations, so I figured I'd give it a shot. When I saw there was a quiz that could match how I naturally work with a method to get more shit done, I had to check it out. My result? Eat the Frog. If you're not familiar, Eat the Frog is all about tackling your hardest, most important task first thing in the day. It's great for beating procrastination and prioritizing high-impact tasks. It also boosts your sense of accomplishment and sets a positive tone for the day, ultimately building momentum. Truth is, this totally tracked for me. I'll admit I'm not 100% convinced I'll be able to stick to it. I've been I do my best work under pressure kind of girl for a long time, but I'm willing to give it a shot. And realistically, no matter what productivity style the quiz gives you, we probably all benefit from eating the frog. Think how easy it is to get off track if you start your day by checking emails, scrolling social media, or getting caught up in the minutia, right? That can eat up a lot of your time without you even realizing it. Eating the frog is a great way to ensure you're getting the most important task done, even if you struggle to stick to a productivity system outside of that. And it lends itself well to the quarterly planning strategy I teach in the lounge and talked about on the podcast a couple of weeks ago. I actually shared the quiz inside the EB Vault. That's where I host my resource library and all my courses. If you're on my email list, you got an invite to it. And anytime I come across something cool or helpful, kind of just pop it in the Jessica Says feed for everyone to see. And after I shared it there, I had a few people who reached out to let me know the quiz was spot on for them, including one of my lounge members. We were actually on a Velvet Rope call, reviewing her priorities for the next few months, and I mentioned she was trying to do too much. I had a similar conversation with her last month when she was trying to do her first wholesale trade show with like a 1-month turnaround, putting too many things on her plate. That's kind of what she does. She said when she took the productivity quiz, it literally called her out for that and gave her a way to keep her focus. Point is, the quiz knows what it's talking about. And being able to get clarity on what's been holding you back, that is priceless. It's all too common for entrepreneurs to feel stuck and overwhelmed without realizing why. We just know that no matter how hard we work, we're not making the progress that we want. If that feels familiar, understanding your productivity style might be the first step to breaking that cycle. So, what are your next steps? First, take the quiz. I'll stick the link in the show notes. It'll only take you a couple of minutes. I also recommend you read all of the blog posts they share underneath the quiz. It's on the same page. Because your best productivity system likely includes a blend of the different strategies and tactics they share. For example, they talk about time blocking, the Pomodoro technique, the Eisenhower matrix, and the getting things done method, along with a few others. I'm sure you've heard a lot of these. I've even talked about them here on the podcast. Like me, it's possible you've even tried a few, but were frustrated that they didn't really seem to stick. Well, it might be because you tried one that sounded cool, but didn't realize that it wasn't optimized for your natural working style. Remember, productivity systems aren't one size fits all. It's okay to keep experimenting until you find what works for you. If you're a member of the EB Vault, comment on the post where I shared the quiz to let me know your results and any aha moments you had throughout the process. Second, cut down on context switching. It's slowing you down more than you think, and this is true no matter what your productivity style. 3, less is more. Focus on fewer, high-impact tasks instead of spreading yourself too thin. And that, my friends, is a wrap on this week's episode. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today, and I'll see you on the flip side. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode. If you want to learn more about growing your e-commerce business, get started with my free resource library at ecommercebadassery.com/free stuff and get an invite to the Lounge, my e-commerce marketing membership. When you're ready for one-on-one support, apply to work with me at ecommercebadassery.com/apply. Before you go, would you do me a quick favor? Leave a rating and review and tap that follow button. This pushes me up the chart so I can support more scrappy e-commerce entrepreneurs just like you. I'm on a mission to reach as many as I can, and I could really use your help. Thanks so much in advance. Until next time, e-commerce friend, stay badass.